Hello, friends, and welcome back to another Needlessly Nostalgic. I am one of your hosts, Tyler Nichols, with my other host, Mr. Lance Valchek. Lance, I love how you changed your Instagram thing with Valchek and like spelt it out in like would it be the Czech spelling?
Oh, no, I think I just did it phonetically. I don't know why. I think I was somewhere and somebody mispronounced it for like the 30,000th time in my life. And I was like, maybe I'll just like fix it. Because it's not like nobody knows how to spell it anyway. I could tell you right now to spell my name. And if you repeat it back, you're going to mess up a letter. It's literally all I know in my existence.
I'm one of the few people that I would say I wouldn't mess it up because I've had to spell your name out many times in edits and different things.
I'm being a bit facetious when I say that, but it tends to be true.
But we're actually getting into the Halloween franchise. This is our second entry in our franchise chat discussing this, 45-year plus, I think at this point, 47-year-old franchise, which is absolutely insane. Like, that's a very long time for a franchise, let alone a horror franchise. We're talking about Halloween 2 today. Do you have any specific memories with this of seeing it as a child?
No, this was on TV. I've always had a very complicated relationship, so my memories are more depending on my time. I mean, I remember watching it early. I think this was on TV more, at least around my neck of the woods. Yeah, I mean, I have a complicated relationship. What about you?
I'm exact same. I've been very hot and cold on this movie in the past. Sometimes I really like it. Sometimes I'm more like, but thankfully this was a very positive viewing for me. So I'm going to be pretty positive during this, which is nice because I genuinely didn't know how it would go. I was a little worried that like there'd be and it could still happen for later episodes. But I'm just in a Halloween mode. I'm ready to be diving into these films.
All right, well, let's rock and roll, man. Give me your spiel.
All right, so Halloween 2. This is from 1981, directed by Rick Rosenthal, the only director in the franchise until David Gordon Green that directs multiple. It was written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. Is it actually? Oh, yeah, it is. They did. For some reason, I just thought it was characters when it came to Deborah Hill. But nope, they wrote it together, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasance, Charles Cyphers, Lance Guest. Where's Dick Warlock is the shape. That's really the only people we need to. And Nancy Stevens. I'll give her a shout out as well.
Good.
Well,
Nancy Stevens.
Yeah, I like her, and I guess we can even give a Nancy Keys / Nancy Loomis because she does show up in this very, very briefly. But
it's funny. I was going to say real quick, I do like the idea that because that's something you don't really do anymore, which is like you show up for the picture just to be dead. I kind of appreciate that. I was like, there we go. Not like some dummy, and not that they could afford anywhere, or like a shoot of the face. Like, no, we had a little moment. So yeah, good for her for returning. And she's cute. So
she was married to Tommy Lee Wallace, who was the production designer. So I'm sure that helped. Of just like, hey, can you lay on this gurney for one shot? It'll be more impactful. We'll give you a paycheck.
For sure. Because she shows up in 3 as well. So I think she's the only actress to be in all 3 Halloween films before it was basically soft rebooted in 4.
Yes, and also we've talked about it in the past, she's in Assault on Precinct 13, so she's clearly just a Carpenter girl. Wish that we got her more so in some of these films because I really like her, and so it's cool that she's kind of part of that troupe, even if it's only for a brief time.
Yeah, the early iteration of the band.
Yeah. Okay, so for those that haven't been around for franchise chats, we tend to move through the movie a bit chronologically, more breaking it down. It's practically like a commentary track with how we do these. But yeah, so let's start out right at the opening because I've always really liked this Mr. Sandman opening it up because that song it works well with this, even though you would think it'd be more of like a Nightmare on Elm Street style opening. But I like the replay of the ending of one, but we get different angles. Like that's fun.
Yeah. Well, one, I'm big into like early '60s. I'm assuming that's an early '60s song. It sounds really '60s. It sounds like Dick Biondi would be introducing on Oldies 104.3. So I'm always a big fan of like happy songs and horror. I think we talked about that during our Jaws episode. So that is something that I do really appreciate, and that's probably one of the positives I will have for the movie, which is it does its damnedest. And obviously, Rick Rosenthal was very clear about this in the commentary that he wanted this to feel like a continuation. So as opposed to being a sequel, it's just part two. It's okay. We had to cut for time. Next time, it's same bad time, same bad channel kind of stuff. And I really do like the idea that we start off seconds after. Even if it is, they do have the ramp where Michael Myers falls off. It's like more obvious now. It is one of those things that as a kid, even in my teens, I never noticed. But once it was pointed out, it's like all I could see is the ramp. But I also kind of like that you get more of that sort of full bodied shot of Michael. So I think that's a good filming technique to be like, hey, yeah, it's not matching exactly, but this is, like you said, kind of like a different perspective of the same events.
Yeah, I've always liked that. And just so you're aware, the only reason I know this is because of Back to the Future, which the past scene takes place in 1955, and Mr. Sandman is playing, so it is a 50s song.
Oh, it is 50s? Like late 50s?
1954.
Oh.
Sung by the Chordettes.
Shit, I wasn't even close. I would put like 62. If you're going to say 50s, I would bet you money right there. I'm like, okay, like what, 58? 54? Man, I'm not even in the same ballpark. But I guess it does show you that like early 50s and early 60s weren't that far apart, Yeah.
Oh, and I can't say that I have much knowledge of barbershop music, which that would be considered, so I don't have a recall for that. It's literally just because of Back to the Future that I was even aware.
I got into doo-wop music in my teens. I still like it. So I was going to put those together, but I guess doo-wop was, barbershop quartet kind of music walked, so doo-wop could run,
When you mentioned it's like the recreation of the end of part one, which usually I don't like. I like we've talked about it with the Friday the 13th films.
I was wondering where you stand.
Yeah. Every one of those, it's like, it's literally just chopped off the end of the previous film. What I like about this is we're getting different angles, different perspective, which changes it. It's even scored differently, so it changes the texture of that scene, which I like that.
And, as much as we want to bitch at times, it makes sense during this time period. It's like, yes, it's like 4 years after the original, right? Was this 80, 81?
3.
Okay, 3. Yeah. 78, yeah. And obviously VHS was not a popular item at this time, if anybody even had one. So it's like, oh yeah, the last time I saw it was in theaters 3 years prior. So I'm okay with them, and they did it Friday the 13th. I'm a lot more, I think, liberal with them doing that stuff. I get it. It's a thing of the past. But for this, it's specifically because the whole sell is we're continuing right after. So we need to kind of prep you up,
Yeah. No, I agree.
Only change I don't like, actually, is that there's that hilarious Michael Myers outline in the grass, which wasn't there in the first. Like, I guess it's just for the visual cue of like, oh, he was here, touches the blood. I think that's the
very
only thing where I'm like, he fucking arms are wide out. It has a very snowmanish or not snowman, snow angel type of thing. But fair enough. And in 81, I'm sure that was like, ooh, he was here, and now I'm like.
Yeah. I wonder if they like cut into the grass or something. So it's like that would be hard to pull off, or if they literally just had a dummy that sat there for like an hour to try and get that indent. That's hard. It's hard to get an outline in grass.
Yeah,
like
of course. Yeah. It's because it's like we're kids playing grass. There's never outlines. Yeah. I assume they discolored it a little. I don't know. It had to be some sort of movie magic.
Yeah. Well, and then it cuts. We have the recreation of the credits from the first film, and I have certain feelings about the updated theme, but I want to hear your thoughts because I know you love overly synthy stuff.
Oh, you're being sarcastic. Here's the thing. At this point, I don't know how I feel about it because every fucking movie changes the theme. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. The theme slightly, and so going back to this, I find it fine because it's just a slight change where, you know, I would say getting to 4, 5, 6. Yeah, when we get to that, I'm a little more annoyed because I'm like, okay, I think we're kind of getting farther away from it. This to me is close enough, though. Why not just use the original? Why update it? Like, it's not like Carpenter was gone. He's here.
Yeah, he's here with Alan Howarth.
That's what I'm saying.
As we know, like that's
Dean
an
Cundey.
amazing pairing. Yeah.
So it's like let's just. It's the one thing that seems weirdly out of place, even though it's like I said, it's only it's a variation. It's not that far off. It's just like you said, it's a tweak. But I'm wondering why tweak it when we're trying to sell this as the same night. Maybe it's just give this a different identity. But in all fairness, I do like it. I actually would say like this is probably. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'd have to do it later in the ranking episode. I could like write down my thoughts, but as of right now, my thought was this is probably my second favorite iteration because it's basically the closest.
Yeah, I know. I agree. And that's actually one thing that there's going to be a lot of stuff, a lot more things that we can discuss in the ranking episode because we'll have to talk about what timelines we prefer, things like that. Who was like the best handler of the sequels, things like that. There's a lot of stuff that we can talk about with this franchise that the other ones were not quite able to. It's harder. I mean, because we technically discussed like with the Elm Street series with like the directors we liked and what were felt like spin-offs but no. So we'll definitely get into that once we've watched all shit. What is it? 15 films at this point?
Is it 15? I never even counted. I don't know. I was like, okay, there's 8 in the original run. That was my life. 2 zombies, and then 3 Gordon
13
Reeds.
then.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, whatever the TV show is, I wouldn't count that if it's TV show, it doesn't count as a mainline entry. But we'll see if that even happens.
Yeah, but they announced that like 3 years ago. I doubt it. Yeah,
very true. I'm surprised. I was expecting, even in my notes, I'm like, I hate it too, as a response to you. I don't like this. It's too synthy. Like it's too energetic. There's too much of a like disco feel to it, which I don't like as much. I don't know if they changed the key. Just something about it sounds different that I don't like. Especially, it feels like more of a contrast to the credits that happen. Because like I love that reveal of the skull within the pumpkin. Like I think that's very fun. And the fact that it is supposed to be a continuation of that night, having such a drastic theme change, not drastic, but having that kind of theme change, I'm just like, why? There's
more energy towards it, which is funny because the movie has a pacing of molasses. So I am surprised they went with again, I don't know music, so like I'm not saying the tempo is higher, but there's something about it that I feel is more energetic than Carpenter's more atmospheric iteration, or original, I should say.
Yeah, no, I agree. And this, I mean, it goes right into the stalking sequence, which I fucking love. It's probably my favorite part of the movie, where Michael's like walking around. We get like the Night of the Living Dead cameo on the TV, which made me go, how many times has this fucking movie popped up in horror just because it's public domain?
All of them. I mean, it's funny because at this point, it wasn't so far removed that it had to be a reference. This might have been like pure, we need something that we don't have to pay for. Because, obviously when we start getting to like the 90s, it's like, okay, they're using that as a reference to movies we love. It's like it's a trope. So this has to be pure, I'm assuming. No, it's funny because, I'm going to say, I have a lot of issues with this movie. But I do thoroughly enjoy this opening scene because I think it's the most Myers-esque. It fits really well with the other movie. I mean, it's slightly bloodier. The first kill is this teenage girl. And I remember there's 2 things. One I love, one I don't. But I do love that she has a blood splat. And I was like, and I could imagine. I'm putting myself in like 81. I wonder if there was a backlash. Like, do you think that this was a movie where people at the time appreciated Halloween for being sort of suspenseful over gore, and then this, which that's not even gore to me, but we're also desensitized. Does that blood splat, that to me is like a little more slashery. We're now kind of tweaking the formula. So is what's the consensus at this point? Is it like, this is trash? Or is it like, oh, cool, we're being more modern. We're adapting to like what's popular. As my slasher friend, you got to tell me because I have no fucking idea.
I don't know the consensus. I just know that like Halloween started slashers in 78. I'm not Black Christmas and Peeping Tom, Psycho. You can say whatever with those. Halloween started what we know to be a slasher in terms of the blueprint, but it morphed through the years, and Halloween 2 is taking on all the qualities of the slashers that have then come out between, where it's like we're getting more blood. We're getting tits, like more boobs. We're getting just more kills. Everything's ramped up. So I think it's just a natural progression of what slashers are, because the slashers are their heyday. I mean, the peak of slashers is 1981, which is the release of this. So there's
81 to when?
I'd say, well, I mean,
peak.
It's 80 to 83, but I would say 81 is like the absolute peak. Yeah.
No shit. For some reason, I always just thought, I mean, because slashers obviously went, like, they pretty much died during, it wasn't Dr. Giggles, like the death roll of that subgenre, but like, I for some reason thought it went a little farther. I didn't realize 83. I didn't realize like early 80s was like the peak.
Yeah, whenever you're looking up like the all the crazy variations, the New Year's Evils, the My Bloody Valentines, they all fall into that early 80s, and everything else. It's really because once Elm Street comes out in 84, we're getting the creative kind of slasher. So then we're getting like an April Fool's Day that comments on it. Then really the main ones are like the franchises that are able to just withstand, and they're more going off of the momentum of the series and the characters that people love versus like, ooh, I want to see these people in this situation, which was the appeal in the early 80s was, ooh, a minor killing people, ooh, person killing someone on New Year's in different time zones. It's all just what's the gimmick that then is attached to a killer killing a bunch of people in like over a 90-minute period.
So Halloween is more indicative of the slasher subgenre than obviously Halloween, because this is with all the tropes. So this is essentially more of like, as Halloween was the godfather of it, Halloween 2, you're saying, is more likely following the blueprint.
Yes, this is the most slasher that we get from the Halloween franchise until Halloween Kills, but even Halloween Kills then has like a silly random asides because David Gordon Green's trying to be a smart ass.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
So I want to say real quick. So I do like the babysitter kill. I do like how it's framed. Of course, I do think Dean Cundey coming back really does tie the feel, and it's something I didn't really appreciate until probably later in life, and maybe even more this viewing, just because we did our Carpenter extravaganza and stuff like that. But
I know you're negative.
Yeah, at 12:20. 12 minutes, 20 seconds, we show Michael Myers for like the first time, like face, and it's fucking clear as day, his goofy ass eyes. And I'm like, fuck, right away. It's like, and this film breaks that a lot for me. Like, not always, but I did make a note a lot of times. I'm like, oh, there's his eyes. There's his eyes. There's his eyes. And all I could think of is Ronnie Yu being like, Jason Voorhees, we need more sympathetic eyes.
We need to see his eyes.
Kill me.
That is not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to talk about Michael popping out of nowhere.
Oh, I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay with that stuff because it's like, listen, that's the movie. That's what this movie is.
Yes.
It's it's the Jaws 2 to Jaws, which is, they're going to amp up some stuff, and what would have been goofy in the first one through magic of time period, lightning bottle, right place, right, all that good stuff, kind of polish that away. But this is what Michael Myers was always meant to be in my eyes. Number one is just the movie gods happen to bless Carpenter, but that's so he does some shit in this film, I guess so, and we'll get into it. But I'm not as bothered by that. But his eyes, though, they break my rule, and I'm like, yeah, 12:20. Look it up. He has this goofy I know exaggerated look. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, I think it shows the very different approaches of Carpenter and Rosenthal.
Yes.
Because it's like the best moments of Michael in this are Rosenthal aping Carpenter, like just trying to recreate moments from the first film.
Yeah, that's something I have an issue with, but I also understand. So this is where I become kind of confused, which is a lot of this movie works well because he's doing his best to make it feel like the same night or continuation. So, or the next day, whatever. So him copying Carpenter is actually a really smart idea. The problem is there's sensibilities that Carpenter has that Rosenthal doesn't. And so there are things where it's like, I think there's, okay, so I'm watching on TV right now, right? We kill the babysitter. Now we're bringing out Laurie. We're kind of getting to the night, right? Like this is all shit I like because it feels Carpenter. It's, got the steady cam. It's kind of chill. But then we get in the hospital setting and there's goofy ass shit that happens where I'm like, oh, Rosenthal doesn't quite have that sort of eye. It's a little more, I would say, goofy is not a right word, but there is stuff that I think is just clunky. And then again, I should say, if I directed Halloween 2 in 1981, I wouldn't do nearly as good a job as Rosenthal. I can't say his fucker's name. So I don't want to hark on it, but it is one of those things like I'm going to be comparing to Carpenter a lot because he's doing his best to ape. And when he does, it's when I'm enjoying it. And it is fine, but it's like, dude, it also brings out, I think, his obvious flaws, which is why I think I have an easier time dig into 4 or 6 where I'm like, they're not even trying. They're just making your fun little Michael Myers movie, And that's where 2 it gets weird because it is a Carpenter ripoff,
Yeah, in a lot of ways. And I mean, one thing that I did like about the stalking sequence is Michael totally could have killed the old people that he takes the knife from, but he doesn't. He then goes after the teenager. Like, I like that. That's not what we would have seen in like Halloween 2018. So it's nice to then see that. No,
it does kind of lean into, which this movie does then fuck it up, the fact that Myers is random. This is still trying their best to give that sort of, it's not every person he sees. It just happens to be moment in time, So I don't know if it was the teens or just the fact that like, they're easy or not. I don't know. Fun. I don't know the reason. I don't really want to even, think about it because I like the idea that he would let some people live and that maybe that old lady, if she was in his way somewhere else, she would have got it. So it just happens to be like, fuck it. I'm going to get the knife. Like this part of my night is just to grab tools. I'm really not going to mess with you,
Yeah. But I love that we're then seeing like the aftermath of Halloween with like Laurie getting taken out on a stretcher and that it's being done like by her love interest. And like even the guy that gets killed by the hot tub later, like we're getting
Italian,
the Italian. We're getting them all what's the word? There's a word for it. What's the word for a Goomba?
Dago? I don't know. I could say that. I grew up in an Italian family. I could say Dago. I don't know I don't know the appropriate words. I just know all the PG racism ones.
Yeah. Well, either way, I like that they're introducing all of these people, even if it's not like hey, it's this person. This person's clearly going to be someone. It's like, no, they're just people in this world. They're ambulance workers. It's like, yeah, they're obviously here for a reason.
It's organic because let's pretend you may have never seen it. We never watched a trailer. As of the time they bring her right to the hospital, I still am not really sure who we're following. This could be like, it wouldn't be out of place for them to have these guys drop her off and then never focus on them again. It's just, it's more logical to have them bring them in. Like, obviously nowadays we just cut her being in the hospital, but back in the day, this sort of like, transitional spaces, I think was just more common in terms of story writing and directing. So I'm okay with it. But yeah, as of right now, I don't know who the main character is. Is it going to be Laurie? We can never see those guys again, and I'd be fine because they're not shoved in your faces. Not like oh, Laurie, it's me, Jim from Home Ed. Oh my gosh, you okay? Like there's no dialogue. They just fucking pick her up, put in the thing, and like they drive away. It's like, oh, I like that. Yeah. We're not like being shoved in our throats, or it's not holding our hands, as you would say. Like, look at these protagonists, look at these characters.
Yeah. Like, oh, I mean, we really need to put a button on the people. It's like, oh, these are our new people.
Exactly.
How do you feel about the wig?
Okay. Most of my life, I was wig blind. I worked in a female-dominated industry, and it was during that time that women, because I worked with all women, taught me to look at eyebrows, teeth, and wigs. And so, how about this? As of right now, it is so hard to look at. It actually bothers me. But if you asked me a decade ago, I would have said, "What wig?" So I don't know. It's good. I wig blindness is beautiful. It was beautiful. Now I'm watching fucking, I could watch an adult movie and be like, oh, that's a bad wig. that's not good. But here's the thing though. Let's be honest. I don't think it's terrible. I just think it's one of those, once you notice it, you can't unnotice it, but clearly wasn't so bad that like me and any other age was bothered by it. I think it's fine. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? I've already, I guess, tipped my head here.
I mean, it didn't bother me as much this viewing. I've had past ones where I'm like, oh yeah, that looks really bad. Watched in 4K, and my kind of interpretation of the wig is always her hair's super disheveled from the chaos of the first film and that night. So it looking like more out there doesn't bug me as much. I think it's because I had long hair at one point, and it's like, yeah, there's some times where it just looks so different from what it usually does. So that aspect doesn't bug me as much, but yeah, it's not a good wig, but it's just, if someone were against it, I wouldn't have an issue with it because like, yep, I get it.
Yeah. And it's not one of those, I mean, I bitch about accents, but in the end of the day, if the movie's good enough, the wig is it's just what happened to be because she had her hair short at the time. So, I have issues with why she's in the movie, basically, but the wig's fine, dude. The wig's fine. Yeah. Who cares?
Well, and I love that they have that. It's great that there's a mom bringing her kid in for eating something with a razor blade in it.
Right?
And no one's taking it that serious. Like, it's not they're like, oh, just wait, we'll get to you. Like, this seems like a big deal. You should be like, there's so much blood that is coming out of his mouth. Can only imagine how mangled his tongue is. Like, deal with this.
It's something I never really noticed as a kid, dude. It's crazy. Like, I'd probably say like in my 20s or something, maybe in some sort of commentary, it's like, I'll pay attention. Because, it's a kid was holding his mouth and walks away. It's like, you're not in focus on it, but it's like, it's a cool in-world teaser of like, okay, because I'm assuming they're hinting at somebody put razor blades in candy or an apple or some shit because that's Halloween. So it's like, oh, that's dark. It's a fun, dark moment to kind of spice up the holiday. And they do in a way that, like, I think is so casual that it's actually awesome. They really don't focus on it. They pull them in. It's just kind of showing the world. Like, and because there's nobody in this fucking hospital, they need to add some sort of, something else. So I think it's actually a very clever thing by Mr. Rosenthal and Carpenter. Maybe, I don't know if it's in the script or what it says.
I mean, I think it's smart. The only thing I wish is that they should have had her and the kid leaving. There should have been a moment where it seems like Michael's going to get them.
Yeah. What's the payoff,
Yeah. It's just kind of there. And I mean, because we see her before, we see them in the hospital, and it's like, okay, well, in my mind, they're still waiting there. We should see them leaving, see something.
Or, I mean, yeah, they should have left because then there's enough of a focus where if they were to brought back his characters later, that was the introduction. If not, it's a little weird. And they didn't pay off the razor blade. Like maybe Loomis should have found some sort of candy bar or something with the razor, via, trick or treat or something, and had it on him. I don't know, like bring it up where he could cut a wire or something with it. It's just some sort of in-world tie-in, but maybe it's how we think now. Where back then it was like, oh, you're not even supposed to really pay attention to it. Just like a more of a fleshing out of Haddonfield and Halloween,
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just adds a little something more. And I don't know how you feel about this, but I think the Loomis stuff in this is so fucking boring. Like, I feel like the movie comes to a stop a lot of the times. It goes not in the beginning, but like once Charles Cyphers is out of the picture, it's just like, get back to the hospital, please.
So yes, I agree. I actually like the Loomis stuff up before them because I like killing Ben Tramer. I think it's just funny.
Yeah,
I think it's just he also is, and I kind of like this aspect that it's the same night, so he should be the same, but like they do ramp him up. Like he like his personality does switch because Myers is alive and he's just fucking wackier. So I do kind of like it because I feel like that's sort of the personality trait that Loomis carries through the rest of the series, which is this sort of obsession. Like he was obsessed in the first, but he was grounded. This he's just shut up, 6 feet. He's fucking freaking out, screaming. I love it, but I do agree. That's Carpenter's. I do think a lot of the flaws of this come from him, which is Loomis is a great actor. We need to bring him back, but there's not much for him to do.
Yeah.
Simple as that. There's just not a lot. And Laurie being sort of out of commission the entire movie, it's sort of like, what do we do with Loomis then? Because even if he brought him to the hospital, he's just going to hang out. He's not going to go explore. It's like, that doesn't really, I find like he's just doing like side quests for 90% of the film.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's interesting when like he's with Cyphers, but then it's like Cheap Racket sees Annie's body, which is a great moment, and he like freaks out. But it's very clear that the blonde officer is just a stand-in for Brackett. Like,
yes.
Clearly that was meant to be Brackett in the script. Cyphers didn't want to do it. And so then they're like, okay, we'll write you off quickly. And then this guy's going to just have all your lines.
So I don't want to bring up Halloween 2 from Rob Zombie because I think that's time and place. But I do think about that emotional scene and that Brackett has this sort of like revenge aspect of him, which, I mean, the movie ends pretty quickly after that, which is this movie absolutely should have had Brackett be the fucking main character of outside of Loomis. He should have been leading the movie. He would have been like, my fucking daughter's dead. I want this guy. I want him now. And that should have been the driving force. I get why he left in terms of real world, logistics. Like, yeah, he wants to go be with his wife. His kid just died. But like you said, now we're left some blonde dude who just is just like the deputy who's doing the same shit, just not as interesting. We already have a connection from the first. Why not have Brackett, vengeful? That gives us some pacing. It gives us, I think, like a drive.
Yeah, especially because then he and Loomis are on the same page. It's like, we need to get this fucker.
Yeah, because really after that, it's like Loomis just kind of hanging out looking for him. The Tramer thing kind of throws him off, though. I don't really understand why a guy's wearing I understand the mask. The thing about Tramer, which I have issues with, and I'm just being picky because I wouldn't actually fault the movie for this because I think the point is just to kind of throw some doubt. But why is the guy wearing the same overalls that Michael would have stole from a mechanic? You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's not a costume. So that's a little, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. We're just having a good time. But
that doesn't make a lot of sense.
No,
that's for damn sure.
Loomis is just kind of hanging out, going to schools and shit. He's like doing kind of detective work, which is like, yeah, but this is not the movie I want to see detective work. Detective work is part one. Where's Michael? What's going on? Now it should just be, there needs to be more of an energy. And I just do feel like, I think Pleasance is so charming that I'm not faulting him at all in this movie. I actually think he's like one of the best parts, but he doesn't do anything. And that's, I think, Carpenter admitting, I mean, was it a case of beer or a 6-pack? What was the whole thing? He's like, I didn't want to write this. I got drunk and just fucking knocked it out.
Yeah, knocked it out with a 6-pack of beer, and which I think you can tell.
But I also want to say, you could give me a 6-pack of beer and have me write a script, and I don't think it's going to turn out this good. So in terms of Carpenter, I am going to shit him a little, but I do also want to say it's probably better than anything I could write, So at his age, I'm just saying, like, I'm going to shit at him a little, but I do want to say it's just because of everything else, because it's flawed, but it's not actually bad. It's just lesser than having Loomis kind of just hang around and, just looking for clues.
When you're eating very well in this movie with all the gorgeous brunettes.
That's all brunettes. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, dude. Is there even a blonde here?
Yeah, there's the cute blonde that gets like Michael fucking stabs her and lifts her up towards the end of the movie. She's one of the final kills.
Cute, huh?
Yeah, cute blonde.
I guess so. I would say, good old fashioned average Midwestern.
Oh Jesus, you and your fucking what's the not liking blondes.
And I can appreciate anything. Hey, isn't the scene when they're out in front of the house? Isn't Dana Carvey in here somewhere? I remember hearing that's in the commentary. You heard about that? Dana Carvey's he's like a cameo, and
yeah.
I think he's in the Blue Jacket or something during like the news conference when they're out.
Yeah, he's definitely in a shot. I kind of forgot about it, so I didn't. I didn't look it up.
I just assumed you'd be on it, so I was like, I'll just casually mention it. Tyler has this written down. I'm pretty sure it's at 2206.
He's in a trucker hat, and he has a blue like vest thing, like Marty McFly, and he has like flannel on. But yeah, so he's definitely shows up. You can hardly really see him, but it's during when I think it's when Annie's body gets wheeled out.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. So if anyone's interested in seeing that, I don't have the time code, but you can just look up Dana Carvey Halloween 2.
2206 is close. And like I said, this transitional part where they bring the bodies out, I do like this. This is kind of stuff in this movie I do like because it's the real world, actions of what would happen. And I know it's probably not in screenwriting. It's probably not like the funnest scene to write, but I do think it kind of adds a lot. And like you said, bracketing his dead daughter. It's like that. That's kind of shit I like. That's the kind of heart and soul that I want in my movies, even if it slows it down.
Yeah. When I didn't realize until this viewing, but that asshole in the cowboy hat with the boombox essentially gets a ton of people killed, because that's how Michael finds out that Laurie's at the hospital. Though, I mean, I'm sure Michael could have surmised that she'd be taken to a hospital, but it's still, that's the thing where it's like, oh, he hears that and goes on a mission.
Oh, when he's walking like the town square, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then the kid, he like runs into Michael, where it's just like, oh, I kind of forgot that. It's like, yeah, this sets off the events, because Michael's just kind of wandering until that point.
Which, this is the movie that does introduce the controversial brother-sister angle. And I've been very clear on, which is funny. What I did forget is I forgot the dreamy flashbacks. I just had no memory of those. I don't know why. Maybe I just assumed it was in dialogue, but I was like, oh man.
Yeah, they filmed all the TV cut of Halloween 2 during that same time.
But for some reason, I thought all of it was in the TV cut. I watched the theatrical, and like when she's on the hospital bed, she like has a few moments of him like looking over, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot about this, because I was thinking about watching the TV cut, but I'm like, you know what? Let's keep it to what it's supposed to be, as opposed to like, the extended thing. But what I was going to get down to is that I think we should kind of get this out of the way. I don't hate the sister angle in this. I mean, I don't love it, but I think that's the only way to have him even try to get Laurie, because we saw him already kill a random teenager. So him spending too much time on Laurie seems stupid if this isn't the case, because he's walking past teenagers like a motherfucker on the street. So why is that one? The one that got away, I guess. But since when did that mean anything to you in the first movie,
Yeah, it was. I mean, I had always kind of been I liked them not being brother and sister, until the David Gordon Green trilogy taught me that it's like, oh yeah, this doesn't make a lot of sense when she's not his like long lost sister. Otherwise, he just seems, it's way too coincidental.
Yes.
Like, no, he's very clearly going after her. Like that's and I that's one thing the Halloween series really establishes, is Michael going after family. And we get that throughout the rest of the series outside of David Gordon Green. So it's like, that is our connecting fiber. That's what makes this different from Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees protects like his land, Camp Crystal Lake. You come onto his area, he's going to fucking kill you. He's not, outside of Alice, who he obviously went out because she killed his mom. Like, he's not going after people. That's not a thing that he does. There's people that survive Friday the 13th. And guess what? Jason's not then going to try to hunt them down. It's like, no, you're not here. I don't give a shit about you then.
Yeah. I mean, outside of 8, but 8, it's just hilarious because he gets in a boat that happens to take him to the other ship. But really, it's one of those things that Jason's not going to go out of his way to kill anybody unless you're on his property, unless you happen to bring him places that he's okay. But he's not going out of his way. I absolutely agree.
He doesn't, even in part 8, it's like, he doesn't know they're going to Manhattan. He gets on a boat in Camp Crystal Lake, or at Crystal Lake.
Saying. It kind of takes him to the other ship, which is, I think, he's really just, he's trying to be the best man he can be, but he's not going to deny what brings him joy. That's what Jason is, He's not going to go out of his way, but if you were to kidnap him and drop him up at some sort of like pool party, he'd be like, well, while I'm here, I'm not trying. I don't want to, waste my skills. No, the family aspect is the only way it makes sense for him to continue. That's why I'm fine with it. The first movie's perfect. It doesn't need a sequel. First movie ends with that big reveal that he's gone. He's not necessarily human, or he's more evil. He's the boogeyman. It leaves it open. It's fucking perfect. Them continuing. No, the family is The driving force. He keeps coming back to Haddonfield to finish off his bloodline. Whether you like that or not, it at least gives the character reason. As opposed to the Gordon Greens, which is when that fucking dumb doctor drops him off at Laurie's house. The first thing he should have done is just walk away. It's like, why would he walk into it doesn't make sense. So who gives a shit? She's an old woman. I thought you're into teenagers now. Like, let's go back and kill more teenagers. So all that to say is, I know it's controversial. I just think whether it's a plot point people like or not, it at least makes sense going forward to me that this character would keep coming back to his own hometown. And then eventually becomes the house, I think, in Resurrection. But that's a whole other bitching we could have later on the road.
I mean, yeah, because, Laurie's technically dead. He doesn't have family to go. Oh, except he should be going after John Tate at that point. So, yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But we'll get into that when we get into it. Another Rick Rosenthal film. Yeah. But one thing I do really like about Michael in this is how much he hides. It's an element of the character that I miss from other iterations, because he's hiding a shit ton in this. It's like sneaking. He's going behind doors. He's like, I love that shot of him in the baby room when the two nurses are talking and you can just see Michael fucking right next to all those babies. It's just like, oh God, Michael, get away from those babies. Get away from those babies.
Yeah, it's a good point. He is stealthier in this. Not that I think he's still stealthy in all the other ones, but I agree. There's more of a focus on that in this, and because that was a big part of the first. That, like you said, that's him aping off a Carpenter, and I think that's smart because that is, that's like an essence of the character that I think has been lost a bit, not completely, but I do think, now that you say it, because there's that amazing shot where, and I'm sure we'll talk about the kill, where he stabs the nurse with a syringe, but like he like appears so slowly and his face becomes like illuminated. It's a beautiful shot. It's like, yeah, that's a lot in this movie of him kind of just being in the shadows and behind stuff.
Hilariously, because I watched my 4K of this, but then I fell asleep to the film as well, like afterwards putting it on Plex. And in order to fall asleep easier, I have a sleep mode setting for my backlight and brightness where it's turned almost all the way down. And during that scene in particular, I couldn't see Michael. Literally, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for him to pop up, and then it's like, oh nope, I just don't see him. It's so dark that I just don't see him. So it is yet another reason I love. I've mentioned it so many times on the podcast, but I love horror films in HDR because you're able to make that stuff pop so much more. The highlights come out so much better. So
I don't own this in HD. Actually, I did something that's going to blow your mind. I have a special edition DVD. I have no idea when it came out. It's actually Scream Factory because it has a reversible cover, which I just noticed today. I was like, I opened it and I was like, oh, it looks like the back of a cover. I was like, why does it have a reversible cover? Shout Factory, dude, or Scream, whatever the hell it is. And so I was like, okay, well, it's going to look like shit, but I'm whatever. It's like I want to watch the commentaries and stuff. And dude, it is the best looking thing I've ever seen. Like the DVD. Maybe it's because it's on a 4K player, maybe because I have an HD TV, but it looked like a Blu-ray. It has to be the best DVD I've ever seen. I was blown away. I forced my my girlfriend to come in here, and I was like, babe, come here. Look at this. I was like, what do you think this is? She doesn't give a shit. She was like, what? I was like, look real quick. She's like, it looks fine. I'm like, it's a DVD, babe. It's a DVD.
Dude, I'm so confused right now. You own the Halloween Blu-ray collection.
No, I don't.
That's sweet.
You
don't own that?
Yep, you're mistaking me for somebody else, buddy. I own them all separately. I own 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. I think maybe Kills.
That's insane. Yeah, for some reason I could remember you getting that sweet Shout Factory thing that then went out of print.
I was going to say I wanted it, but went out of print. And at this point, it's like, well, I don't want 5 or 8 anywhere near my house. So it's like, I don't know how to go about that anymore,
That's fucking hilarious. I guess I did not realize that. So I guess you'll be using the Plex to watch a lot of these films.
Well, I down the road. I mean, but regardless, it's the DVD look great. I just want to say out there, people, who would have thought the special edition DVD from God knows when was that well put together. So
yeah, that's awesome. And especially I didn't realize that Shout Factory was doing DVDs at that time. I would have figured it would have been an Anchor Bay release.
Yeah, dude. I'd have to find out when. I should have looked, but I have it. It has like it's like a cool artwork where it's Myers and the blood's coming out of his face, and it's like a drawn Dr. Oh my gosh, Loomis and something else. I should have it in my hand, but whatever.
Yeah, I didn't even realize I have I have 4Ks of this entire franchise outside of 3 and the zombie films. So I'm even Resurrection and H2O.
Well, you're more of a completist, I understand.
I like the whole franchise. That's probably my issue more so than being a completist.
Well,
I just like it.
I will go out of my way never to have a couple of them in my house. So how about that?
Yeah, well, I have Halloween ends in my house, so we all make mistakes. I really like that Laurie is immediately suspicious with the phones being out. I feel like this film shapes her into more and more of a final girl ironically, she helped shape with the first film, but this feels more like the 1981 final girl that has to, be a little more savvy.
Yeah, no, you make a good point, actually, that she is kind of on it from the get-go. She obviously, I think midway through the movie, like literally puts pillows under her blanket to fake the old, when you're trying to sneak out of your room kind of stuff as a kid. So I think it's fine. Though, I still have this big issue with I just don't really get the point of her in the movie though, because she's gone for such long periods of time. I wrote it down and I do want to bitch about something. Dude, this portly little security guard, this is like a fucking 10-minute scene and it's just him looking around. And I was like, dude, it's indicative of, I think, the issues of this movie that come up, which is like, so they kind of wrote Laurie into a corner. I mean, she got stabbed in the fucking arm, so I don't really get why she's like in the bed for so long, whatever. Fair enough. But it's just like, so now I'm following this guy, this portly fellow, for way too long. And I just
He's
feel
such
like
a dope too.
I know. And it's just like, dude, like, I get it. They're going to kill him. But it's like, I would have cut this back so much quicker. Like, just like, let's move a little. I don't know. This movie has a problem with having like a set protagonist. Like, if it was going to be Lance Guest, I think we should have just been like following more. But he's also working. So I don't know. Now I'm following a security guard that's going to die and nothing's going on. Laurie's just kind of hanging out. I don't know.
It's an ensemble.
What's up?
It's an ensemble.
Yeah, but it doesn't work here because I don't care about half the characters, and they don't really spend too much time with these people. I feel like I think we should have focused more on Guest actually after he picks up Laurie. Maybe like him going back to Laurie and them talking and having more of a setup of that kind of stuff. I just think Laurie's gone too much in the movie.
But you said earlier, like, you don't understand the point of her. I mean, the whole point is to get Michael to give Michael some kind of drive. And why would he go to the hospital? Because he's after Laurie. So then because it's not until a minute or an hour 9 into the movie that they actually cross paths. So it's just about, it's like, well, we want to have it at the hospital setting. How do we get him there and actually caring? Like, oh, well, we're setting up this sister angle. And obviously Jamie Lee Curtis is much bigger at this point in Hollywood. And like, we don't have as much time with her. Use her as we can. I
think that's actually the biggest, now that you say that, it's like, yeah, it seems like she signed on to be there for like a day and a half and they had to stretch it. Cause like, yeah, he should have met with her. They should have cut this on, like had the whole movie been like essentially either a chase or, essentially the hospital. She's stuck in there and he's fucking killing around. She's trying to get out, or I don't know, break her ankle or something. I don't know what the method would be, but it does seem a little treading water. Yeah. That takes so long to get to her even being a part of this.
Yeah, and I agree. And I mean, I know this is a slower pacing, but somehow I still really love all the hospital stuff.
I did. A lot of people too. I would actually say this is not a divisive movie. I find it divisive because it's like, I kind of think it's boring, but I feel like I've never actually felt like this was shit on. I actually think that I think this has that sort of Jaws 2 thing where even if people think the first one's better, which it is, I think this comes to I think people defend this a lot. Honestly, I feel I've never actually had somebody on my side. Even when I liked it, I've never loved it. I feel like I've always been the kind of asshole where they're like, oh, you don't like Halloween 2? Because it is, in a lot of sense, it is the closest you're going to get to the first. Again, I'm going to keep using Jaws 2 because it's very similar. Like they try to ape off the style, the tone. It's a little sloppier, but it's like they are definitely doing their best to like mimic a better movie. And I think that's a smart idea, especially And these days where sequels were like unheard of, you know, I mean, even the commentary, they're like, yes, Halloween 2 it was like a radical idea. Sequels are just not a common thing. And it's like, oh shit. Yeah. I mean, it's not something I learned for the first time, but I always find perspective. It's like, oh, because it's just everything I know now. It's like, yeah, I guess in 81, this was kind of rare. So, you know, I guess all that to say, my issues with it, I don't think are common, just because this gives the closest vibe to the first. You know, everything after this is not. I love 4, but 4 is an 80s movie. This is not, even if it's an 81.
Yeah, transitions very much into an 80s series for a couple films. But, I mean, you mentioned Jaws, so I feel like this is the perfect time to mention. Holy shit, the sheriff from Jaws is the mortician. Did you notice?
Yes.
I didn't watch the fourth, but I watched the first 3 Jaws movies recently, and like that fucking sheriff keeps popping up, and I'm like, I know his face so well, and plus he's still alive. So with Jaws 50, he was like doing interviews and stuff. So as soon as he popped up in this movie, I clocked him and was like, I don't remember him being in this.
No, in fact, I got to be honest, I didn't until like I did the IMDb. But it's funny because he's on the screen right now. It's like, it's clearly the same guy, the same face, the same tone. But all it takes is like him not wearing a hat and looking a little more like Midwest and not sort of Upper East Coast. And I'm just completely thrown off. Like I said, it's like wig blindness. Put a fucking coat on somebody or a glasses. And I'm just like, I can't tell I'm like, who's this? Who's this new character?
No, I agree. He's literally just in the one scene.
Yeah.
So you would think he would be in more. He gets, I mean, what is it? 4th billing in the credits. It's like, holy shit. It's pretty. So they were aware that he was at least more of a name than some of these people.
It's funny because you could tell just how movies were made back then, because somehow that had to sell it to producers more. Hey, we have the sheriff from Jaws. We only have him for a day, but we'll put in the billing. It'll help with overseas. Like it sold it to somebody who I have no idea, but that's how they worked back then. I remember in the commentary, I remember like I didn't watch it like a day ago, that the nude scene with that beautiful nurse, the point of that scene was for foreign markets, because foreign markets demanded nudity. The Europeans love boobs, and God bless them. So Thank God. So when she was like, the girl was like, hey, I'm not really into it, I don't want to do it, the day of, they're like, no, we need you to do the nude scene because we already sold it to the European markets. We need your tits. So it's like, that's just how things were back then. Oh, like this is how we're going to sell it. This is what we're promised. So The Jaws dude, 100%.
Well, and I mean, it's one of the best nude scenes in the franchise, if not the best. It's really stands out. It was even today where I'm like, wow, yeah, okay then. This is they linger on it, like it's great pair, like it's what you would expect from a slasher at this time.
And it's the one thing I remember as a kid, you know, like if I used to Halloween 2 might be around, but I can tell you one thing, I was always very positive about that.
Yeah. It was always a positive. But though I do want to discuss the logistics of the hot tub scene, because like, what the fuck is this thing? Why is this thing in this hospital? It doesn't make sense.
So I thought about this, and I could see the excuse being physical therapy, but where it's set up and where it's at seems like it's in a boiler room. So that can't be the case. And also, it's a small hospital in a small town. I'm going to put small in quotes. I'm doing finger quotes right now because Haddonfield, it probably is like 60,000 people just based on like, look at the downtown, look at like the streets. Yep. The hospital is employed by like 6 people. How are these two going off to have a little bit of sex? Even if it's not long sex, it's like the logistics of them just disappearing where it's like, dude, there's 4 people hired here. How can you get away with that? If it's a busy hospital, you sneak off. Let's go and have sex. Let's go fucking do this. But this, all I'm thinking of is, and this is how responsible I am. I'm like, you're going to get caught. The boss is going to find you. I'm not even worried about Michael. I'm like, guys, you're going to lose your jobs.
Yeah. It's like, use your heads here. It's going to be very obvious that you're gone. Especially It's Halloween night. How are you not getting more calls? And especially the EMTs, they should hardly be at the hospital. They should be making runs constantly.
Yeah, they're just hanging out. It's like, oh, done for the day. We just got a couple murders. Yeah, no, it's the hot tub doesn't make any sense. But that's just movie magic for us because I don't even know what it is. Like I said, it like the way it looks and where it's at doesn't make sense in a hospital to me. Now, if somebody's going to comment and say, hey, Lance and Tyler, that's absolutely how it goes, and please let me know. I've never worked in a hospital. Closest was a nursing home. So, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, how it's set up just doesn't make sense because I know what a physical therapy tub looks like, and therefore people that are very immobile, and getting into that tub would be a fucking nightmare. And then just it being made of metal. There's so many things about it that is just, it's a health hazard where it's like, no, this just doesn't make sense. And it's pretty much in a boiler room. So
right.
And the fact that it's able, like, because Michael turns up the heat so much, that also shouldn't be a thing. There should be safety protocol on that. If it is especially if it's something that they're putting patients in. But also results in great kills. So
sure. But what was the plan? They're going to fuck in the hot tub, then have to dry off and get back to work. I mean, I wasn't obviously this old I wasn't even around at this time, but I was a kid in like the mid 80s. But were people able to just like get a dip and get off and still get back to work? Like, was life so casual that you could just disappear for a minimum of 45? They should be like banging in a closet. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
but
pool sex no sense at all. Has never made sense. It's the kind of thing that works in a movie, doesn't actually work in real life.
For like teenagers, but how old are these people? This is a problem with like older movies where I'm like, aren't these people like 35? They could be 20. I have no idea. It's hard to say. Everybody looks older.
Yeah, the Italian dude definitely looks like he's in his 30s. The girl he's trying to bang, probably 20s, but
yeah, that's a good point.
Different era. He's so Italian. But I love one thing I will always love in a horror movie, specifically a slasher, is someone in the foreground completely oblivious to someone getting killed behind them.
And this is good.
Yeah, it's well done. It works. Michael also does the little fake out moment where she thinks it's the guy coming up behind her, and it's like, oh nope, gets drowned, slashed, burned. Might be my favorite kill.
It's Cundy because I'm looking at it. It's like, it's just how it's lit. It's the perfect amount. You see just enough that's behind that, like not stained glass, but like fogged glass, but you still see enough of it. Everything's done really well. I will say this is the best. It's my favorite kill. I mean, I'm a little biased. I do like brunettes. I like boobs. And I think them like adding the peeled skin is a fun little detail. You didn't really have to do that. You could just had a red or showed nothing and I would have accepted it, Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, it's a very similar kill in My Bloody Valentine, the original, where the guy gets his face shoved into the hot dogs, the boiling hot dogs, and then comes up and peeled as well. And yeah, I've always thought this death just stood out and was an amazing death, which I think there's several deaths in this that are very, very well done. But we're also not seeing one of my main complaints though, is that we're seeing the aftermath of several of the deaths that would be very, very cool, where it's like Dr. Mixter's death or the nurse that gets like drained of her blood.
Yeah.
Like, this is great moments.
It is. I think the issue though, is that this is where it's like, okay, but are we doing Carpenter? Are we doing Rosenthal? Like which one are we doing here? Because it's trying to play both, because the hot tub kill, that's not Carpenter to me. We're like you said, we're now in 81. We're going to go a little graphic. The nurse getting the little shot in her eye or the side temple. Like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
But then you're right. Then we're doing these like staged kills, which is far more theatrical and a little more, restrained, where I'm like, okay, but why? Because the nurse, the blood being drained, I love and I hate. And it's like, part of me is like, well, that's not Myers. That's not how he would do it. But it's something that actually, if he were to do it, I think it's really cool because it's very sadistic. but they don't really go with it. They just got to, like you said, the aftermath, but it's like, no, that's kind of fucked up. Like, did he knock her out or break her neck, or what did he do? Because whatever he did, he then also drained her blood.
Yeah.
Which is like mean.
Yeah. He wasn't, the draining of the blood had to have happened after the death, or at least after she was weakened. It's like, you're not draining someone's blood just like.
And holding them for like an hour. Yeah. So it's like, that's cool. It's a little outside of Michael's MO, but I don't mind Michael being meaner in this. Actually, I like that. It's just, like I said, there are times where he is meaner, and there's times where they're being very cute about it, and which is, I guess the middle ground of this movie, because then obviously from here on out they switch. So this, I guess you could look at this as the in between, and I think there's a lot to love if you're into that. It's just, like you said earlier, depends on where I'm feeling, because I'm like, sometimes I really want to see some of these kills, other times I'm like, okay, I get it, I get why they're being, they're staging this in that very sort of theatrical ways, because they want this to feel like Halloween.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I was going to ask you if you think Michael broke into the school during the events of 1 or 2, but it looks like the knife is the one that he takes from the old lady. So I think that answers it for us, that it must have been during the events of 2. Yeah,
the school scene is, this is the scene I would have cut personally. There's nothing like. It's just, this is goofy. They bring back Chambers, which I think is fun. I do kind of like the aspect.
It's such a dumb moment.
It is dumb. It is dumb because it doesn't. I like it because it's like, oh, we're connecting. We're bringing these characters back. So I do love the idea of sort of tying things in. But then again, he's being called back like he's like a rogue cop. Where he's like, he's a doctor. He's pretty much off duty anyway. Like, I don't really get this part. Like, you're making us look bad. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Like, the hospital's worried about blowback and about how it looks, but they don't actually engage with that concept. Yeah. They just are like, the cop's going to bring it back. So it's the whole school thing's stupid. The Sawin, all this shit. I guess this is I think what Carpenter actually gives his example of him being like depressed about the script, because it's like, this is just okay. It's Laurie's sister, or Laurie is his sister. We need to kind of sum that up. I don't know how I would have done it. I'm as much as I'm shooting on Carpenter, I just do think that's a sore thumb in this, because it's like Michael then broke into a school, drew the words, and stabbed like I don't know.
Broken into the school, put the window back so it wasn't open. It was just that glass pane, where it's like, wait, so he shut it again when he came back? Like, what?
But why was the school thing just seems out of character? Even if he's doing, I feel like, he kind of wanders and sort of listens and looks. Him rummaging and doing detective work, I guess it's not so out of character, but it is one of those things that when I start to visualize it, it's stupid. So like, he then grabbed the blood and then he wrote it on the little chalkboard, Yeah.
Oh, it's so dumb. Well, even Loomis has such a lifeless, when he sees Chambers, he's like, I didn't recognize you. It's like, dude, you saw her less than 24 hours ago. Like, what do you mean I didn't recognize you? And like, even how he says it, it's so lifeless, where it's like, hey, Rick, maybe ask Pleasance for another take.
There's an issue I have, and it's just one that I think could have been polished up more. But they seem to give her more of a presence, like she's more important in the hospital. That's why, they sent her to go get Loomis. So she's that you don't send like the busboy. You'd send the manager, maybe even the shift manager, maybe the top manager. But in the first movie, it just seems like he's kind of paying off a nurse, right? Am I just interpreting the first one wrong? It's just, she doesn't seem important. It seems actually that's why she works. It's like, she's a low level shift chick. He's like, okay, this is what you're going to do. Just going to give him a little dose. We're going to call it a day. It seemed more casual. In this, it's like they're sending her I came from downtown for Mitch and Murray.
Yeah. She even says like, I have a deputy that's going to take you back, or there's like a certain term where I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, why the hell are you pretty much threatening him with a gun to get him back?
And again, he's a doctor, so they're getting him back. What? Wouldn't it really just be like, hey, you know what? You're fired. Like, things are going bad. I don't know. It seems like he's not a cop. Like, what? He's going back where? Like, can you actually force a man to go back to work?
It's so weird. I
or
don't.
It's just like, your license has been revoked, and that it's like Bond and License to Kill. He's off the grid. An off the grid Loomis would have made more sense.
It's poorly written, and it's something clearly that they just didn't like. More rewrites would have gotten rid of this completely. It's like, you don't need that. You already have. You could just have Marion Chambers join up. Well, I heard what's happening. I want to help.
Yeah,
Simple.
no, she comes and she's freaking out. She's like, Loomis, like essentially, like, I was a part of this. I'm not trying to get my fucking job. What's going on? What's the plan? Are you ratting me out? Like, maybe she comes to confront him and be like, are you going to tell them that I was the one that was driving, that was going to help let him out? You know, something like that. And then she's kind of just thrust into the drama, but her being like, in charge. I'm like, so Loomis is going to pay you off? It's like, why are you administering this drug at all? You have people that work under you. Delegate, for God's sakes.
But like, with the amount of damage that Michael is shown to have taken in this, he's definitely supernatural. Like, already, this is not a Jason situation where he's at least a person for 2 and 3.
No,
like, no, he is. Because you get this, you see on his overalls or his whatever tracksuit thing. Like, there's a bunch of bullet damage. You can see the exit wounds. It's like, yeah, that man would be dead. So I like
lifting up the nurse. That's not normal.
Yeah, we get it very quickly. It's like, yep, he's supernatural, which I want him
times.
to be. Yeah,
I mean, the first movie ends. Yeah, no, he has to be, which I have issues with because it ends in a way that's like, well, he's not anymore. But I also get Carpenter, that ending is Carpenter being like, he's not coming back. He is dead. He is dead. But no, he is absolutely, and that's, I think, the part of him I like. I don't mind Warlock, actually. I think him as Myers is great.
Yeah.
I just hate the mask. I personally, that's the thing. I hate this mask. I've always hated it. That's been my big issue. Though this series is infamous for having shitty masks, so it's not like this is a standout.
It's weird though, because
bothers me.
There's times though where it looks fine. Like, I think like he's chasing Lori at one point. I was like, oh yeah, the mask looks very similar to one there. But yeah, it fit too wide on Dick Warlock's head. Then it was yellowed from sitting under Deborah Hill's bed for the years in between. And yeah, she was a big smoker. So it has like a yellow tinge to it. But yeah, the biggest thing, if you ever seen Nick Castle's face is very thin like that, but Dick Warlock has just a normal face. So if the mask fits differently on him, so it always just has a different look, because then shadows are going to fall differently. But there's a couple shots where I was like, okay, it looks fine. But yeah, you can't really see the hair in those shots because it's more silhouetted. Too matted.
Like, I know I'm being picky, but I do think Myers having kind of the messy hair, I don't know, something about that it was just sort of more unnerving for me. It looks slick back. It looks like he's like, hey, it looks like he's going to get along with Mr. Pellegrino or Capecci or whatever the guy's name is. Let's insert an Italian name.
I also I just love a slow walking killer. It's so much scarier than a runner. It's like that's what just slow walking. It's like they're on a mission, but they're not like in a rush. I love that.
He's the OG slow killer, right? Slow walking killer. He has to be. I feel like this is what's modeled after, because even Jason, we've proven that's super consistent. Depending on the movie.
Yeah, he's running all the time in those movies. I think he runs more than he doesn't run in those.
Which is funny because like the stereotype is like Jason like walks. Jason doesn't run. It's like, yeah, except for when he does.
Yeah, except for 2, 3, 5,
4.
Oh yeah, it does happen in 4. So it's like, yeah, it's happening all the time. And like, I love the tension in the stalking sequence between Laurie and Michael. Love it. Absolutely love it. Like I even watching it last night, I'm like, ooh, I know what's going to happen, but I can still feel that tension of like, fuck, get away, Laurie, get away. Cause it's like, I always used to hate Laurie's low energy in this. It was always something that wasn't for me. But now that I'm older and have had some health issues, the no energy aspect is so fucking relatable. Like, I'm like, yeah, this is how I would have been if this happened while I was in the hospital. It's like, I had no energy. She's
drugged up too, right? Because there's that thing where she looks out and sees a nurse and it has that like, I I don't say halo effect, but it is there is some sort of softening edges, and I was like, okay. I mean, I have issues only because I want to be faster, but I also at least they gave an in-world answer to why she's not hopping around. You know, she's fucking drugged up and just having a relaxing time.
I think it's our only scene that we get Dr. Mixter before his death is when he's giving her the sedative.
Yeah, there's a shot in the beginning when she gets a shot. And I swear to God, it's a real needle because it tugs up in the skin. And I was like, whoa.
I had the same thought. It's like, it looks real.
Right? Like, I know that the needles are retractable in movies, but it pulls up in the skin. So it's like, they had to be real. They had to just give somebody a shot, right? I mean, especially in 81. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it was just blood drawing. So like maybe they did just do a quick blood draw. It's not like, because they also stopped. They didn't take nearly as much blood as you take in those instances. Like it was barely anything. So it's like I would not be shocked if it was actually real, especially because even though this is technically a studio film, it was still made indie.
Yeah, it's cheaper just to give somebody an actual shot than like to get a fake needle. Yeah.
Which would, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. But Michael's back to setting up bodies because, like, the security guard that he hammer claws in the head, now he's got him like tied up like he hung himself.
Yeah, because Laurie has to escape past him.
Yeah, and then like I forgot how close Michael gets to Laurie. Like when she's going through that window, he is like right up there swinging that fucking scalpel. Like, oh God, I forgot just how close he gets.
She basically just gets in the elevator, which is hilarious because all I could think is, I assume elevators used to work differently because of safety, but he puts his hand in there and it still closes, so it did not stop. And I was like, okay, look at you, 1981. I guess just kids are just losing fucking fingers and toes, huh?
Probably why. It's probably why we've had the stereotype of elevators being that like death traps in that way. It's like, and we grew up during an era where they had more safety to them. So yeah, I'm sure
we were in the safety era, 100%, 100%.
Well, and I think Jimmy is really terribly written. Lance Guest, like, and he's fine until the blood fall. Because then you have like the falling in blood, which is just so comical, and then like the concussion he gets from it. And him falling on the horn is so fucking stupid and such bad writing. Yeah.
It's I like Lance Guest in this. Is like I think he pulls off boyish charm well, but the character is it's written like. And I mean, I hate to say this because obviously we're in better times now, but he's written like how they would have written a nurse. Like he's feeble. He trips. He faints. I'm like, I don't know. I don't need every man in these movies to be strong, but they weaken him to the point where I'm like, what's the point? Like, I don't know. He has something to him. I think the actor's good. I like Lance Guest. And people seem to like him in this, but I completely agree. I think, I think they don't do anything with him. He just becomes like a nuisance.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Yeah. Him falling on the horn is so unnatural and stupid, and there's not even much of a payoff to it. It's not like Michael is suddenly there. Like Michael, if anything, the payoff is when they keep showing, like she's in the car and they keep showing that the doorway into the hotel or into the hospital. You're expecting Michael to walk through that. They show it twice where you're waiting. You're waiting for him to come out. And then Loomis Loomis has a gun to the back of the deputy's head. It's like, Jesus Christ, Loomis. But like, then then they go in that door where it's like, and Michael then appears behind her when she's trying to like call after them, where it's like, oh, cool. I like that little switcheroo. But it shows even further of like, the horn was pointless and it was just some stupid thing that you just didn't have to do.
Yeah, it was for tension, but they didn't really pay that tension off, which I guess we could argue it's subverting expectations, but it would only work if the act of it wasn't stupid. But why? Like, it's like he's going to pass out. I mean, hit his head, but there's something about any of that just, I think, would warrant that. I mean, maybe it's realistic, but as you know as well as I do, just because it's realistic doesn't mean it should be written into a movie, because in the movie world, it seems fake. It seems like, why is he, like, he was able to get up and get out. So why is he passing out now?
Yeah.
And if he's going to pass out now, then is he gone for the movie? Oh, no, he's actually around. It's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like it. It's never made sense to me. It's like, why do this? I found a good shot of the mask. It's at 119.01. And
okay, I'm actually almost there.
Even me saying that, it's like, it's because you cannot see the hair, and it's just it's in shadow. Half of it is in shadow. It's like, it looks great here, but there's other times there's a shot like earlier in the film where like the mouth is like super cockeyed and like just looks strange. You're like, what the fuck is happening with this?
1901 is a Carpenter shot. I mean, or maybe maybe it's just Cundy just being on top of his game. But you're right. Like, so we're looking at like stage right is completely dark. You just see the left side. You barely see like in his eye hole. It's beautifully lit. So that's kind of stuff where I'm like, yeah, man, that's Myers. This is like Myers lighting. Anything too bright, it just doesn't work, especially in these older movies.
No, I completely agree. I think it looks. It's one of the few shots that actually works in the film. I was always shocked to find out that it's the same mask.
Yeah, I kind of agree. And kind of brings up the point later in the movies where it's like, okay, obviously if they had the legal right to use the same mask twice, why the fuck wouldn't you either use it again or replicate it? Like actually replicate it. I just don't get it.
It's never made sense. I assume it's people wanting to make their mark on the franchise. It's that, because it's not like it's like, oh, toy sales. We need a different look to then put out another toy. Like, no, that wasn't a thing at this time.
You know, I guess if we're being honest, it's the same thing happens in the Friday the 13th series, but I'm less bothered by that because I feel like Michael's mask, like, it shouldn't change. Or hockey masks, I don't know, I guess I'm just more open to it. But this is the one series where I'm like, no, I actually want the exact same mask the entire time. You perfected it.
You're a liar.
Where it's like, Jason, I'm pretty open for a change.
No, you're not open to it because you want that notch.
The notch isn't. Okay, the notch is a part of the mask. I agree. You're right. But 6, 7, 8, 3, they're all different masks. You know, they're different. The holes are different. The shapes are different. The notch to me is just like the acknowledgement that the past has happened. I just think that's like truly Jason. Yeah. But I mean, you know, for Michael Myers, I guess the argument I'm making is that every time the mask changes, it just looks worse. Like, there's not, outside of one movie, which I'm not going to talk about now, which I do like the mask, there's no mask that has beat the first, where, you know, I think we could agree the mask in Jason 6 is great, but so is Mask in Jason 8. And the Mask in Jason 7 is fun. Yeah. 3 is great. 4 is great. So it's just like, you know, I for some reason, Michael doesn't get the luxury of being able to change and be acceptable. I find myself more annoyed that they just can't get it right. It seems like they're messing up, whereas Jason seems more of an interpretation.
They're changing hair length. Why the fuck are you changing hair length on a mask? Like, that is not should not be happening. Like, yeah, we'll get into the various looks, but it's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? I love that Michael just walks through the glass door, because I don't even think that Loomis relocks it, because with how quickly it all happens, I'm pretty sure he lets Laurie in and then they just back away from the door. So it's like Michael could have opened the door, but he just fucking powers his way through it.
He's not wasting time, dude. Yeah, I mean, this is where I think the movie succeeds, is that the chase, Loomis is dragging around Laurie, you know, he's doing his thing. It's all in the shadows. It's all dark. Like, I could dig this. Yeah. This feels a little more that kind of pulsating tempo that I like.
And I don't feel bad for the cop at all. He's like one of the only justified deaths in the movie. In fact, I would say he gets a Darwin Award, which is something I feel like we should be giving out during this franchise, where it's dumbasses who put themselves in a shitty situation and get killed. It's like, the only reason he dies is because he's a fucking idiot.
By now, Loomis had warned him 1,000 times. That's the issue. Where it's like, I get it if you just happen to like come upon this guy. It's like, oh, what's going on here? It's like, but you don't have that luxury. It's you had a gun to your head. The reason you're here is because this guy is so dangerous that you had to be commandeered. So why are you being so casual?
Yeah. It's absurd. Like, but then it's because they have to kill him off. Again, I think it all just comes back to bad writing, them trying to get, it's like, no, we're not going to logically think through this because Carpenter didn't give a shit. This is a dumb sequel I don't even want. I'm obligated to write for them. And so well, this is the next thing that needs to happen. I need to get rid of this character. It's just like the same thing Marion Chambers. I mean, she just goes out to the car to like get on the radio and call in backup. Where then it's like she's gone for the rest of the movie. So it's just them trying to get rid and make it just Loomis and Laurie.
Yeah, what's her point then? It could have just been the cop should have just survived, ran out, and be like, okay, I'll get backup.
Yep, because they gotta bring her back from the last film, which wasn't she? I feel like she was probably married to someone that was part of the production.
I think no, she is though. I think shit. Yeah, look it up. I think she is. She actually is married to somebody.
Rick Rosenthal. That's why she's in the movie.
That's what I thought. Yep.
That's why she's in the movie. She was married to the director. That's hilarious.
I'm all about helping out your friends and family, so I guess I'm a little more okay with it because logically it makes no sense. But if it's just him helping his chick out, it's like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, heck, she probably got royalties for it for years.
I mean, the amount of dialogue in this, absolutely, dude. Every time it's played on TV.
Yeah, back in the day when actors could like practically make their retirement off of just like royalties from their past work.
God, what a time to be alive.
Dude.
God, I wish I was like, I could have been an actor in the 80s and just had like 10 lines and a decent movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
And suddenly it pays out. You're like, holy shit, what? Excuse me?
Yeah, just getting a check for the rest of your life.
On the big finale, like I forgot that Loomis gets stabbed almost immediately.
Yeah.
Like
it's Carpenter trying to get rid of him. Yeah.
And he doesn't remember of like, hey, you blew through all your bullets when you shooting Michael before. Maybe reload. Right.
Yeah. You had to have more than 6.
No.
The ending's fine. I mean, it's a cool explosion. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things that's a little too permanent and it seems, I never loved the idea of killing Loomis off, but I also get that the entire purpose of this is not a grand finale for Michael. That's part 1 where he disappears. This is, I need to make sure these characters are dead so that I don't have to do this again. I mean, that's the entire point of this, the last like 10 minutes. Yeah. This Carpenter being like, okay, well, they can't bring him back after this.
Like, I want to do my anthology idea rather than sticking with Michael this whole time.
Exactly.
Which fine, whatever.
Yeah, it's a good explosion, man. I like real fire, so it's like that's fun, man. Yeah. It looks pretty intense.
Legit firewalk as well.
Yeah,
but we have,
dude. I mean,
you're a gun guy, so we have to talk about Laurie being such a damn good shot.
Oh, with the eyes. Yeah. Which I guess I never got though, because it's a very famous shot. You even see it in the covers. But the thing is like she doesn't shoot his eyes out because his eyes are a part of the scene. It's like right above, so she shot him essentially like in both his brow bones. I think is what they must be hinting at.
I think they just logistically couldn't cover up his eyes properly and do the shot. It's fun, but it is one of those things that immediately raises a bunch of questions. Like, wait, but because he's clearly blinded. Because it's like, well, how has no one else in the series tried to blind him? Like, it's clearly his weakness.
It's a good point. Actually, this is the only time that in the whole series where he's essentially defeated before he's defeated.
Yeah.
So yeah, they should have just always aimed. We're just aiming for the face. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. No one ever aims for the face. They're stabbing him in the chest and shit. Where it's like, we learned night 1 that doesn't work. He'll just take it.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to aim for the face, for sure.
Well,
but it also contradicts him being, superhuman.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I mean, and further being superhuman, because that, like, his firewalk where he's, like, coming out, or he obviously he falls down. I love that it's a legit firewalk, but, like, a normal person is not doing that. He is dead in the room. So the fact that he's walking out, it's like, okay, I like that.
Yeah, and he just passes out, and then you cut to like the close up of like the flames exiting his eye socket. It's like, okay. Yeah, nice permanent ending.
Yeah, really. I feel Carpenter's really trying to show of like he's dead. He is dead. We promise he's dead. Like, and had the series ended here, it's like, I think it really is like a great 1-2 punch. Obviously doesn't live up to the first film, but it evolves into the type of film that Halloween helped to create.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to deny that. I mean, this is at least, this is an ending. It kills off the two main characters, kills off the villain and his doctor, which has been, you know, the heart of the movie. So yeah, him having like a little bit of a burn on his hand in part 4 makes no sense. Like, that's the first time where they should have just started the timeline over. But I guess we'll get to that in a couple movies.
Yeah, we'll be getting into all of that. And I think that's one thing. We do always have to take each film as it comes without trying to then, it's like, oh, well, this eventually happens.
Look forward.
Yeah, because it's like they very clear. There's a lot of times where it's like, well, they thought this was going to be the end. Oh, they thought this was going to be the end. So I try to not judge the whole franchise based on that, because it's the same thing like Terrifier 4. It's like they're saying, oh, it's going to be the end. It's like, no, it's not. It's not. It's too successful.
Yeah, that's what makes money, won't be.
Yeah, it's too successful. Like, it's a horror franchise. You can set an ending, but guess what? You're going to come up with some kind of idea that then furthers that story along. Just how
even if
franchises work.
Even if the guy doesn't, even if Damien, whatever his name, walks away, they'll hire somebody else to bring the character back. So, you know, you can end it all you want, but in the end, whatever company owns the character, like Moose, I
think he's retained rights. I think.
Oh, 100%.
I think Leo. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure from talking to him, he owns the character outright.
Well, that's rare.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then maybe it is the ending. So, I mean, fair enough. But regardless, any other series, it doesn't matter what you want the ending to be. It depends on who owns it, what the money is.
Yeah.
You know, you could walk away with your integrity intact, but they're still going to, like Carpenter did. No. 4 came about because of 3.
Nope.
You know, Carpenter had nothing to do with 4, so it just shows you, man.
Yeah, the Akkads will not let this franchise die. They've made that very, very clear. I think that Halloween Ends wasn't even like, I don't even think it was out of theaters yet before Akkad was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do more. we're definitely doing more. Like, it'll be probably a bit of a reboot, retooling, or I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, they're not even playing the, yes, this is the end, and then waiting a couple of years. It's like they were immediately like, no, we'll do more.
the John Wick, where he's like, he's dead. We think he shouldn't be dead. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
It's like, actually, John Wick is alive and well.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we've covered it. We did Best Kill, which was the nurse's hot tub death.
It's my favorite.
What's your rating for this film?
I'd probably say out of 4 stars, this is a 2.5. Say 2.5. Seems fair.
Okay.
I'll never own it on HD. I have it on DVD. That's good enough. So
I got to get back to. I hadn't been doing our ratings for a little bit because we've done ever since the end of the franchise, our last franchise chat. We've just been doing 4 out of 4 movies, so I haven't written those down. I'm a little bit. I like it a little bit more than you. I'd give this 3 stars. I love the hospital stuff so much, and I understand that it essentially goes against many things that I've said in the past in terms of pacing, but there's just something about it that fits like a warm glove. I like the comfort that it gives, and I mean, there's a reason that even last night where I'm like, what am I going to fall asleep to? It's like, oh, we're recording Halloween 2 tomorrow, so I may as well fall asleep to Halloween 2. Might catch something, which the razor blade thing didn't catch when I was watching the 4K. Must have been looking down, making notes or something. And then while I'm watching it again last night, where it's like, oh shit, yeah, I need to make a note of that because that's definitely something worth discussing.
I could see this being a movie to fall asleep to. I couldn't argue that.
Yeah, that's where the pacing really comes into play.
Comfy little bed, got your blanket, your pillows. You're just.
There's something about a lot of these Halloween films that are easy to fall asleep to. Like that's kind of the trademark of them. But I would say the same thing about the Friday the 13th films. Like there's just a lot. There's a comfort to them. That's a big thing for me. Something that is familiar and comfortable. So might not be something that another person agrees with in terms of that, but I've always felt that way. But we've pretty much covered it. Thank you so much for listening. You can make sure to check out our merch store at needlesslynostalgic.threadless.com. We have a lot of great designs up there. Make sure to subscribe to our Patreon. You can get some 2 exclusive bonus episodes a month. Plus, there is an awesome video version of our Weekend at Bernie's episode that's up there. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you next week for Season of the Witch. Goodbye.